everybody, welcome to my video today, you guys. We're gonna make a really fun card. We're gonna use this stamp set right here, but we're only using the sentiment. This is gonna be a super simple card. So we just need the sentiment out of there, and then I have some pieces here. We are gonna start with a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. I cut this at 4 1/4, and then I'm just gonna fold it in half. So out of an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of cardstock, you can get 2 cards. You can either cut it at 4 1/4 like this to give you this kind of card where it opens like this or like this, or you can cut your cardstock at 5 1/2 and you will get a different orientation of opening your card. So this is cherry cobbler, one of my favorite reds that Stampin' Up! Has. My very favorite red cardstock. It's great for Christmas projects. So now the couple other layers we have here is we have a piece of smoky slate, and this is a gray. It's a cool gray, and I'm just going to take a nail file. You can get nail files anywhere at Walmart, CVS, Target, Walgreens, anywhere you want. You pick up one of these nail files, and I just use it to clean up the edges of my cards. If I feel like my trimmer hasn't done a great job or I'm just struggling with it, I will just use it to clean it up. So then I've taken a piece of basic gray and I have cut these. So let me tell you what the measurements are. The smoky slate measurement is I took a 1/4 inch off. So it's going to be 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have the basic gray piece, and I took another 1/4 inch off. So it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 is going to be the measurement for that. I have ran this piece of basic gray cardstock through the embossing folder, and I'll put the name of the embossing folder right up on the screen. I cannot remember it, but it just gives you this really pretty look. It's like falling snow. So I've done that, and can you believe we're almost done with this card? So now I've taken a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock, and what I've done is I've used my Color the Season dies. Some of you may remember these from a little while back. I told you guys when I purchased these that I would be using them a lot because I love the shape of them. I love that they are stitched. So I really have wanted to keep using them even though they're retired. So they're not available right now. So what I've done is I've just taken my embossing bag and I've put powder all over that because we're going to do some embossing. So you're going to need your Versamark ink pad. I have a couple here. It's my newer one. We are going to take the sentiment from that stamp set, and it says, "Friends make the seasons shine." And we are going to stamp this right in the middle of this die off. And then I just have a little tray here for my embossing powder, and I'm going to use silver embossing powder. So now we're just going to take our heat gun. And what you're going to want to do is make sure that you leave your heat gun running for just a minute while it heats up. So now we have our sentiment on here, and there's a little bit of that white powder still on here. We can take a little brush, you can brush that off. You can also take a eraser. So now we can start putting this together. We just have a couple more elements. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just adhere all of this down. I'm not going to pop this up, but you could pop this layer up, and I will show you how that looks on another sample here in just a minute. So I'm layering this in the middle, and then what you're going to want to do is take some pop dots And you're going to want to pop this up. So when you pop this piece up, what you want to do is put these towards the middle. So normally you would put them on the edges, but this time you're going to put them somewhat in the middle. And then this is going to go right in the middle of the card. And we have one more element that we are going to do on this card, and that is these snowflakes from the Snowflake Showcase die that is available to demonstrators only right now. And I'm popping these out, and you can see that the front of this is silver glimmer paper. So a tip when you are cutting die cuts, especially ones that are very intricate like this, and you are using glitter paper, if it's not a word or if it's not going to mess up the design of the die, meaning it's okay if this was a word, if we cut it out backwards, then the word itself would be backwards. But since this is just a shape, what we can do is cut it out backwards. It's going to cut through that glimmer paper easier, and you're going to get, it's going to be just easier to work with. So I've done that. I've ran these through backwards, and then I'm popping out all the little pieces. And the other tip for you is to pop these pieces out when they're still in the die. That also makes it a little bit easier. So I have 3 of these, and because I've ran this through my Big Shot and I'm kind of poking at the different pieces, it is going to leave quite a bit of glitter on my mat because it's been compromised, right? It's been cut, it's been put through the Big Shot, and poking at it and pushing at it. But normally the glimmer paper isn't going to leave that much glitter on the surface of your, your desk and whatnot. So just punch all of these pieces out, and then we'll layer the snowflakes onto our card. I'm going to bring my card back over, and then I'm just going to layer these snowflakes. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue. And then a couple of these, I didn't get all of the pieces out of here, and that's okay. This is a very intricate die, and with it being glitter, if there's 1 or 2 pieces that are kind of still stuck in there, I don't really think you're going to notice much. I'm going to try not to be like really perfect about it. The majority of it ended up popping out. So this large one I'm going to layer right underneath, and that is why I didn't want those pop dots right on the edge. And I just put glue right in the middle so that the ends of the snowflake kind of pop off. So then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And this multi-liquid glue is very sticky. So once you get it on your fingers, it's really going to stick. So I'm doing this one over here off to this side, and it will dry clear. So with this glitter paper, you might just have to push it down for a few minutes to make sure that it is attaching to the paper, especially with it being embossed. So now with this one, I'm doing it kind of on the edge and not so much in the middle because I'm going to have it hanging off this die. Just like that. So the very last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more bling, and I'm just going to take some rhinestones. These are our old style rhinestones. I just have a few laying around. So I'm going to take these little tiny ones, and I'm going to put them on the card in different places. And I'm just using my X-Acto knife to make sure I'm pressing them down into the cardstock. They have adhesive on them, but just so that they don't pop off if I send this through the mail, I'm going to want to just make sure that I really press them into the cardstock. And I'm just putting them a couple different places. And that finishes our card for today. I love the red and the silver and the embossing. It's so pretty. I did this one and I popped up this portion of the card so it has a little bit of depth to it. So you could do either one, but these are both of the cards. I hope you enjoyed seeing them, and make sure you check out my Facebook today because I do have a live video over there. So thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll be back on Friday to hang out with you some more.